what was the average day like at college?
Yeah, college was crazy. So I found, so I found like, I guess CrossFit my first year of college. And I just, I just loved it because it was a nice way. And it wasn't, I guess it wasn't like CrossFit that I found, but I found like fitness in general because I've always played sport all my life, but it was the first time I found like really fitness that like you can be strong and you can try to run fast and it's not all about like running really long and doing abs so you just look a certain way, but it was very empowering to feel like I could like run a mile sub 6 minutes or, squat, over two times my weight and things like that. Not my first year, let's be honest. That was like after 9 years. um, but I could, like I said earlier, my family put all their money into us being able to play sport, and every sacrifice my parents made was always to help us. But we are not from I'm not from a family that like had a tons of money. Like my dad um, used to get very sick often, and we didn't know why. And older, I learned that he was so stressed to not be able to provide for us to have food on the table that he would have like ulcer in his stomach. So it was like making him sick, and there's like a lot of things like that when I was younger you don't know because they were great parents, so they never let us know that. But older, you kind of looking back, I like look at the things we used to eat, and I'm like, huh, yeah, huh, okay, I get it now. So when I went to college, I felt like I wanted to do this on my own, and they gave me so much that I was like, I'm a smart cookie. I'm gonna figure this thing out. But I was completely broke. Broke was yes, like I was stealing peanut butter from my roommate. I was in a shitty dorm. I had no phone, no TV, no computer. So that was a blessing in disguise because I had to learn to be very resilient very fast, and there was no room for failure. Like, because I couldn't pay to redo a class. Like, I just couldn't do that. And I was very scared I wasn't going to be good enough because everyone tells you engineering is really hard. So the fear of that and the fear of not having the means to like redo a class and things like that, sometimes when you're put against the wall is a good thing. And also I just learned about this CrossFit game things, which was very exciting. So I kind of used back then my training to give myself a break from my school, and my school to give myself a break from training. And it was literally no time wasted. I had school from 8 a.m. to around 6 or 8 p.m., depending on the day, with 1 hour break for lunch. And I would wake up at 6 a.m. I would run to this little Globo gym at school, try to do some training. Then I would be in school all day. I would sleep on, they had this couch at the school somewhere, like a lounging area. I would sleep there for an hour, like with everyone there. I just couldn't care less. I would sleep on the couch, like eat during my class, and then go train again at night. And then I would come back and study until 10 p.m. and I would repeat. And a little funny fact about back then, there was no like competition program in 2010. It was like, there was this like workout of the day on the website, and I couldn't do most of it because I was in the Globo gym. So there's no rings, no pull-up bar, there's no anything. So I had to makeshift my equipment when I was there. So I would just stack on things to make a box jump, and I would jump on the, that lat pull down machine. There's like, it's like a square at the top.
Yeah.
I would jump on that to do my pull up, and I would just make it happen, right? And then I would have, so I started like very early on to create my own programming. And I would just look at the things that I think I'm struggling at, and then I would just find progression. So I remember back then I was struggling with thrusters, and I'm very good at them, but I started to make myself progression. So I started to do what we call a drop set. So I would go like heavy, and when I couldn't do the heavy anymore, I would drop low and go lighter and go lighter. And I had no idea back then of all the physiology behind that type of training, but I created this thing for myself where I was very data oriented, and I would just always take data on whatever I was trying, what was working, what wasn't. And I learned just a ton about like programming and finding ways to make myself better like that. So just, a side note on that side, I kind of fell in love with this whole programming and fitness world by doing that, by like using myself as this little lab, because in 2010 there was no information out there, so it was like trying to get better at something that you don't have the equipment for, and or like the coach or anything. So yeah, that's what I was doing. So everyone who think it was easy, it was not.
So how do you pack in being a student chemical engineer, going for the CrossFit Games? You're not doing very well financially. How did you pack all of that in? Like, is there any tips for people?
Be okay stealing the peanut butter from your roommate. I think it's a really hard question to answer, because I do feel like part of that struggle really taught me to be very, very resilient, and to be very creative and inventive, and it forced me to grow in ways that I doubt I would have grown in as strongly if I asked for help, because it was this kind of thing where like my back was on the wall like very, very often, and it's when you feel like you have nothing, and out of your nothing you still have everything to lose if you don't show up. It helps you show up. So yeah, it taught me a lot of discipline, a lot of not caring what other people thought of what I was doing, because I remember my teacher would often, I had a couple of teachers tell me that they thought I was so disrespectful for showing up in my gym clothes all the time. But for me, it was like, I literally just ran from the gym to not miss the class, because that's all the time I have. And then, they would reprimand me for eating in their class, and they would reprimand me for, doing a lot of things until the day I won. And then it's funny how people change after that. But yeah, it was like, there was no other choice, because I just made up this dream in my head that I was gonna go to the CrossFit game, and it was so exciting, and I didn't want anyone to make me stop of dreaming, or make me feel bad for dreaming. And I don't know if that's what having a hard high school did for me, like understanding that I'm going to do me, because no matter what you try to do for other people to, hopefully give you what you want, and just have someone be like, yeah, you're nice, maybe I'll stop bullying you. I just like was doing me for me, and this is what I wanted to do, and this is what I was going to do, and I'm not hurting anyone. And I'm sorry if your standard is to show up in class and very, very well dressed, because that's what, a lot of engineers, they just dress well for work. Well, I guess I'm not your typical girl, but I'm also here to break the mold of what we should or shouldn't be, because you can do it all and be it all. And dressing up a certain way doesn't mean that you have to be that person. So, yeah, so I just decided to be me.